I like to use smooth peeling off bark of Japanese Zelkova tree as a medium for culturing Grindal worms. Though any tree bark with smooth surface will do. All tree bark comes with bacteria, insects and whatever else wild things we want to get rid of. Wash the tree bark. Microwave the cleaned tree bark for a couple minutes to kill most of the living organisms. Let it cool down. I use 16-oz plastic food containers with lids for culturing Grindal worms and Springtails. Poke holes in the lid for allowing some air circulation. Break the tree bark on chunks to feed them flat inside of the container. Moist the tree bark. Cover the container and let it sit overnight. We can see the new Grindal worms culture in a couple different ways. Here you can see one of my old Grindal cultures. I culture Grindal worms for feeding my fish. Grindal worms are perfect size for feeding many types of fish and aquatic pets. Grindal worms like to feed on dry active yeast and plant-based food. Let's add a piece of tree bark in this culture. Moist the culture. Close the lid and let it sit till the next feeding day. Tree bark retains a lot of water. It takes days and weeks for Grindal worms to spread over the new piece of tree bark. I flip the new piece of tree bark to get it moist faster on each side. This time I give Grindal worms a flake of Cheerios cereal to chew on. The tree bark in the new container should be moist enough already for Grindal worms to be comfortable. So now we can see the new culture by moving an old tree bark with Grindal worms on it. Or use a soft brush to pick some Grindal worms from the old culture and move them to the new container. Give them some food and remember to moist the culture. All set and ready. It's important to feed Grindal worms only amount of the food they can eat before it gets spoiled. Overfeeding is the main cause of all problems when it comes to it. I will give you a couple examples of most common problems caused by overfeeding. Here I am adding more food to the remains of the old food. It all looks good for now. By the next feeding day, Grindal worms moved away from the spoiled food. And now there is more spoiled food. I add fresh food. Overfeeding prompts outbreak of mites in the culture. Those mites are harmless and my fish will eat them just fine. Nevertheless, I don't want to culture mites. Notice, Grindal worms and Springtails avoid spoiled food. I am flipping the tree bark upside down to have the clean from a spoiled food surface on the top. Now I can put small amount of food on the clean surface for Grindal worms to eat. Avoid overfeeding to prevent mites. Even a small amount of spoiled food can prompt mold. I use a soft brush to remove mold and spoiled food as soon as possible. Mold growing on spoiled food may spread all over and it will destroy the entire culture very quickly. Grindal worms and Springtails do not feed on mold. Foul odor and distinct spreading pattern are the first signs indicating imminent collapse of the Grindal worms culture. It's possible to save Grindal worms by moving them into another container. There is enough Grindal worms to feed my fish and to seed a couple new cultures. Overfeeding caused the whole culture to collapse. So again, feed only small amount of food Grindal worms can consume before the next feeding. It takes about 1 month for the culture to grow noticeably. At this point I start harvesting Grindal worms for seeding new cultures and feeding fish. The smooth surface of the tree bark makes harvesting very easy. For Grindal worms cultures of this size provide enough worms for regular feeding of my fish all year round. My antlers and least skilly fish really enjoy eating Grindal worms. Also, I have been culturing Grindal worms in small glass jars as well. The small glass terrarium looks much prettier. Tree bark serves very well as a medium for culturing Grindal worms. It's easy to find in local parks anytime you need it. The tree bark is one of the best mediums when it comes for retaining water. This particular quality is crucial for maintaining high humidity Grindal worms need. Have fun and happy Grindal worms!